This is a camera. There's a hole right there. We're going to cover it up. This is a camera I just pulled down. That's a really strange sound for this to be making. Hi there. Welcome back to my video blog. And that's right, I said video blog. This is not a how-to video, but sometimes there might be some how-to stuff in here, but it's primarily a video blog. You just watched me retrieve my solar camera. This has been out for the entire month of March 2022, and for the last couple of months this year I've been taking pictures of the sun 1 month at a time. So I've got one that's starts January 1st, and I took down the last day of January. Same thing for February, and this one is March. The cans don't usually make this sound though, so I'm wondering what's going on inside. Now, if you don't know, this is a beverage can that I've converted into a camera. This piece of black tape is covering up the pinhole lens so that we're not messing up the image that is hopefully captured on a piece of photographic paper inside this can. So normally what I do is I take the can down, I open it up, I peel all this tape off. Peel this tape off. Wow, it's really stuck on good. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, I peel off this tape. I'll take the bottom off and slide the photo paper out. I'm going to do that in a dark place also so we don't mess up the image. And I'll pull the paper out and scan it, and then we'll see if we got anything. Before we scan, it's good to try and wipe down the scanner a little bit so we don't get any stray dust or cat hairs on it.
Always got them cat hairs.
I'm in my closet. You probably can't see me. I like to try and do this in a dim area just so that we don't upset the thing too much. Oh, you know, I really don't like the looks of this. So, it's basically in a cylinder, so I almost think we don't have an image at all. Oh, actually, if you can see that, we do have an image. It's just so coiled up around itself. Okay, so we've got our image on our scanner. We're going to scan and see what we get. This takes a long time because I scan it in pretty high resolution. Well, reasonably high. This is actually lower than I have, but this is actually coming out. Interesting. That's all we got. Now I've taken it off the scanner, and what I like to do is just write the month and the year on the back that I'm going to stick it into. It's wrapped in tinfoil. I'll show you that, and maybe you can see that this is all coiled up. But anyway, stick it in this envelope to protect it from light and maybe never look at again. Alright, this is our image. Now, because this is a piece of photo paper, we have to flip the image and invert the colors. So despite trying to be very careful, I see we got a big old hair on the scanner or on the photo paper, and that's irritating. Anyway, we invert the colors like that. Now we flip horizontally. And so if you were very tiny and inside this camera, this is the view that you would see. I like to adjust my colors a little bit more. And it looks like there's some water damage on this. And the reason I say that is because it was totally rolled up in a cylinder, which is kind of unusual. I guess I'm not going to spend too much time messing around with this. I usually don't. But I just like to bring it down like that. Anyway, what I'm noticing is that my previous photos have been sharper, and I'm noticing that there's a little ghost of this house in this outline here. So, I think it was pretty dry most of the time. It was capturing the sun. You can see the trails of the sun up here. But then someday it got wet, and it did rain quite a bit very recently. Do that. And then I also like to adjust here to make these lighter areas really bright white. And that's really all the adjustments that I do. It's purely to make it more fun to look at, I suppose. I think we'll call it good. I don't usually like to mess around with it too much. And this hair is just part of the fun. The kind of photo paper that I'm using is actually expired and probably not even manufactured anymore, but this is AGFA 5x7 fine-grained matte fiber-based paper variable contrast. This is stuff that you could print photos on, and that's originally why I purchased it on a certain auction website, but I've actually only used it for taking pictures of the sun with this method that I've shown you today. This is an envelope that I covered in tinfoil and taped up. I keep my completed images in that to protect them from the light. And here again is the can. I can just show it to you how I put that together. It's not really anything special. There are other videos on this website where people go over how to make these. I've got a piece of black tape here to cover up the pinhole, which you probably cannot see. And this can is kind of in rough shape. It's been out for a quarter of the year now, just hanging out outside. You'll notice on the image that the sun is starting to go up past the top edge, so I may need to think about repositioning this camera. One thing to think about is that as the paper is in this container, the sun comes through the pinhole and the image is actually upside down. So down here along the back is where the sun would be going off. So, it's pretty obvious. I would need to come up with some sort of way to tilt this back, or you can mess around with the placement of the hole. Maybe I could make a new camera if I were feeling ambitious, but I'm not. I'm feeling quite lazy, and I've got to get this out before the sun comes up tomorrow morning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the new photo paper inside, tape it up again, and reinstall it back on my fence. And maybe while I'm doing that, I'll find a different way to position it. Okay, now I've got the photo paper back in the can. I'm just going to tape it up with this white gaffing tape or gaffer's tape. That's what I got. You may be wondering, why is it white? Well, that's kind of an arbitrary decision that I made because I thought it would look less suspicious than a black camera. I do have a black camera. It's all blacked out. I think the black tape is actually better at keeping the light out, potentially. At least when I hold the black tape up to light and the white tape up to light, I can't see anything through the black tape. But through the white tape, it seems like some white gets through. So anyway, that's why I'm using a piece of black tape on this. But while I'm at it, I'm just going to tape over the edges some more of some of this old tape that's starting to come up a little bit. And anyway, why is it white? Because I thought it looked less suspicious. And is that true? I don't know. Maybe it looks pretty suspicious to begin with. To have a strange can hang on your fence. Alright, so I'm ready to put this back up. I've got this tiny piece of tube. I don't know where it came from, but I'm going to stick it back behind the camera to see if I can get it to angle up. Alright, now we're ready for April. All we have to do is pull the tape off to start the exposure.